Hey guys, and welcome to another video. Today we are doing my mom's makeup, which this is the final look. My name is Abby. If you're new here, welcome. I do makeup, beauty, healthcare. I do makeup, beauty, health, wellness videos, but I wanted to show you guys how to do makeup if you have mature skin. So this is more like 50 plus. Mom is 63. So we're trying to not make her wrinkles look super dry. We're trying to make her look youthful and young and radiant without wearing too much makeup, just something super simple.
We're trying.
We're trying and we succeeded. I think it looks great. So if you guys want to see how we got this makeup look, please keep watching. First thing we do with mature skin is not to put a bunch of heavy foundation on dry skin, correct? So what do?
Moisturize.
We're going to moisturize. Good. I've taught her some things throughout the years.
Oh, I'm so happy to have this. Ilia Milk. It's just the best moisturizer that I've ever used.
So what it is essentially, if you have drier skin, it soaks in like a serum super quickly, comes out in a very milky consistency like this, and then when you put it on your skin...
Nah, don't waste it.
That's what we need to use. Okay, rub
much.
it in between your hands. So we're going to moisturize our skin because if you have mature skin, it's generally going to be more dry than when you were younger. I'm going to do it too.
This was the one product that I wanted to take home.
When we did our last video.
And she wouldn't let me.
I got her these cute clips in her Christmas stocking, which that's why I'm home, is we just celebrated Christmas with the family. Now that our skin is moisturized and good, plump, ready to go, we're going to use a serum-like foundation. We're not going to use a super heavy foundation because you're just going to see it on the skin. Again, we want something super moisturizing, super hydrating, because if it's not, it's just going to sit on top, dry up, and make your wrinkles look more prominent than they are. Your favorite, again. No, this is not sponsored by Ilia. We just love Ilia for especially every skin type, every age, but it's amazing for mature skin. This is a serum-like skin tint. So again, it's very runny. Milky, really runny consistency. Thin. SPF 40. And you can put this on with your hands or with a brush, whatever you prefer. I would suggest using your hands because you can really warm it up into the skin. But do you prefer a brush?
I use my It Cosmetics brush.
You use your It Cosmetics brush, which I would recommend a different brush that doesn't have this shape. It's so big and it's really hard to control. So my favorite foundation brush is sorry, I have a lot of favorites, but this is one of my favorite foundation brushes, and it's the It Cosmetics Heavenly Luxe Complexion Perfection. How hollowed out hers is. This isn't going to disperse product, it's just going to leave it streaky. So I prefer this one. So I'm going to put this on your face. This is in color Bomb Bomb. We're just going to do this much. I realized last time, less is more with this. It's actually quite pigmented. And then in circular motions, blending out. Mom is, how old are you?
63.
She's 63 and she looks amazing. And you don't have like any age spots. I have more age spots than you do.
That's not true.
Well, you look great.
Now see, I thought you said tap tap.
Well, with this you can kind of blend in like this to really work it into the skin. And then I use my beauty blender over top of it. And that's how we get it really pushed into the skin. But because we're so moisturized as our base, that's all we need to do.
And for any of you that have watched my videos and I've been a big crunchy fan, I am now an Ilia fan, and I understand about it being so thick and heavy and laying, especially like in this area, you really see the thickness, and with the Ilia you don't.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're still getting coverage. It's a very nice product.
I'm just going to do the same exact thing on me because, again, this is like for mature skin, but I will say it's perfect for all ages, which that's why I'm going to do the exact same thing. And I still press it into the skin like this, but I do also do circular motions. Whatever you need to do to make sure the product is really well blended in is what we're going for. Next, I'm going to use this beauty blender. And I got it wet. I'm just using it to make sure everything is blended in. Again, for mature skin, we want an even complexion, but we don't want to cover it up with a lot of makeup. So foundation is kind of not our friend anymore. We just want a skin tint that's super lightweight, kind of has all the benefits. This has skincare, SPF, squalane, hyaluronic acid, niacinamide, all the good things. The next step that I like to do, keep stepping back. The next step that I like to do is contour the face. I introduced this Say bronzer to my mom. It's in color Sand, and it's one of my favorite bronzers that I like to use. It's a bronzer slash contour because it does kind of still have that undertone that creates a shadow, meaning it has grayer undertone. Bronzers can have a really sun-kissed golden color versus gray. Gray is going to create more of that shadow, so it's going to sculpt and define your face. And why that's important for mature skin is because as we age, we know our face kind of starts to move down, and we want to create the illusion of it's going up. So most people, I feel like, will put contour or bronzer way down here in the hollows to make your hollow more, but we're trying to create a new line a little bit higher so that your face appears higher.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I always put it under my...
Then I actually have this dual-ended Makeup by Mario. It's F4, and it's a really good brush for what we're using because I use this side, the bigger side, for the contour, and then this side for blush, and then I can kind of bounce back and forth and get them blended really easily. So I go in after I warm up the product on the back of my hand, and then I will go not all the way down here, but I'm going to go up here and really up into the hairline and patting motions.
I'm watching in the mirror.
Contour just kind of gives you that depth in face that you don't really need to do more. But if you wanted to add a powder bronzer at the end, you totally could. But I prefer on mature skin to use more cream products because, like I said, the skin is dry. We don't want it to be too wet and too creamy, which is why that essence was so good because it soaks in, it doesn't sit on top. Because then it will move around. Because we're not setting it, we don't want it to be super slippery. We want it to still set up really well and still be dewy, but not super shiny. Kind of creating a little bit of a kissy face, and you see even on me, I'm going a little bit higher. Now I like to move on to concealer. Most people with mature skin struggle with their under eyes because it's aging, it's drier, it's wrinkly. You want to set it, but it just looks more powdery when you do. Here is my ultimate #1 hack for concealer to make it look flawless on mature skin. For all ages, but mature skin specifically. My newest, latest, and greatest find in concealer is the Natasha Denona concealer. This is in color N6, and I love it because it's self-setting, so if you have more mature skin, you don't want to add a bunch of powder under your eyes because it's just going to make you look more dry and wrinkly. Put it on the back of my hand. I use this brush. It's an Omnia 260 brush, and it's $11. $11. Okay? It's my favorite concealer brush. Why are you laughing?
Because you have so many things.
So many things, so many favorites. I change it all the time.
Yes.
But that's because that's my job. My job is to find the next latest and greatest thing. It doesn't mean that the last thing wasn't... I know. It doesn't mean that the last thing wasn't as good. It just... Okay. Anyways, this is the brush I'm using. You don't even have under eyes. Okay. Come here. Look up. I'm going to focus the product here and not go all the way up. Just under the eyes. Mom has tattooed her eyeliner on, so it just kind of looks dark there anyway, so it kind of gives us a guideline of how far we need to go up. But the trick with this concealer is to blend it a lot. You really don't need a lot of product because it's super full coverage. Less is more, and that's why I put it on the back of my hand, because if you go directly on your face, it's harder to control, and then you have to take it away, and then it just looks a little bit cakey because you don't realize how much you've put on. So in the inner corners, close your eyes. And then I always bring a little bit on the lid as well, just to cancel out any of that redness. Okay, look up again. And I just keep blending, keep blending. I haven't ever found a concealer that's this good, to be honest. I really love my Kosas concealer if you want more of that non-toxic brand. It's more hydrating and you will need to set it, but I'll show you my tricks on setting it without making your under eyes look super wrinkly. Next up is blush. This is the Makeup by Mario Rose Crush. Love these. Using the other side of this F4 Makeup by Mario brush, I'll just go into the blush like this. It's just such a pretty color. Off too much pigment, so it's really easy to work with and blend. Turn your head the other way so they can see.
Oh, sorry.
Where I'm putting this blush is right at the high points of the cheeks and kind of blending towards the apple, but not too close in because you want the blush to lay here in this area. Turn your face. So it's kind of here. Again, everything's a little bit higher than you think it would be where you place it because we're creating the illusion of something that isn't necessarily where it is, which honestly, I do the exact same place. And dabbing it in, never swiping it around because it's cream. And you have cream under cream under cream, and you want them to melt together and not move around. And if you want to do a little bit of a rosy nose, you can, to make you look a little more sun-kissed. Not much, just a little. Now I want you to look up with your eyes, not your face. You can see this is not creasing at all. To keep it from creasing though, instead of adding a bunch of powder, I'm gonna take a dry Q-tip. This is one of my favorite tricks. Look up, and right where it starts to kind of build up, we just dab away some of the product.
You're barely touching it.
Barely touching it. Close your eyes. And then on the eyelid where you kind of get that crease as well. And you can go back in and you can blend it more. It's a very forgiving concealer. I have had some that once you put it down, if you go to move it around, it like cakes up and doesn't look good.
She's barely touching.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind.
Taking away a tiny bit.
You're not wiping, you're touching. Barely.
And then you can see that you're going to get a lot of buildup here on the outside corner.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm just dabbing, again, where she's going to have more of those wrinkles because this is where it will crease up, but we don't need product there because you're not going to see that area anyways. Mom loves to use eyeshadow on her eyebrows to fill them in, and I think this is mainly due to you having already tattooed on your eyebrows. So it kind of is already where it goes.
Years ago.
I know.
You really hate that I did that.
A little bit. So we have to kind of like work with what she's got. And the thing with eyebrows on mature skin is that it's really important not to draw them down. Almost don't even follow the eyebrow that you have because we want to create the illusion of them being lifted higher. So you want to create the arch, but the bottom you kind of want to go flat across, if that makes sense.
What are you using?
This is the Refi eyebrow pencil. Honestly, I really like the one from e.l.f. You don't need to spend a lot of money on it, but just an eyebrow pencil that draws little tiny hairlines is what we're going for instead of the eyeshadow that you really can't control where you put that. It's like
I
harder.
can't. Am I messing you up?
Well, they can't see what I'm doing.
Oh. Sorry. It's more important that I see.
I know. This is what she's using on her eyebrows, and it is so wide. Like, there's no way you could possibly create a good brow with that. Let me see. That's better, for sure. This is Mom's favorite eyebrow gel because I turned her on to it. It's very lightweight, so it's barely even there. So I'm just going to use a tiny bit of it.
I love it because it holds it in place.
It does, but it's not as strong as some of the other ones that, like, glue them down.
No.
We don't really need that.
No.
In my
opinion. I can feel it. I can feel it, but it's not like I couldn't move them if I wanted, if I felt like they were too straight up or whatever, I can move them still.
Actually, you bought me this.
I bought that for you.
This is the This is the Too Faced Natural Eyes palette.
Still available.
It has really beautiful neutrals, soft pinks, browns, has all the colors that you really need. This is the brush that I use for all of my eyeshadow. I really don't use multiple brushes. It's just easier this way. We always go into the most neutral color, the one that goes in the crease. This is called Strip Poker. Go up into the crease really gently. This is the Morphe M433 brush. Again, all of these products are going to be linked for you guys in the description box so that you can get them for yourself. You can see if you open your eyes, it didn't do much. It set the concealer that we put there. And then I go into this lighter white color called Heavenly, knock off a little bit, and then I'll just press it in the inner corners. And that just brightens up the eye a tiny bit too. Cashmere Bunny is the next level up. So any palette that you have, start from the most neutral color and then build up. I'm focusing this on the outer corner, deepening up the one that we already did. And if we want to add Silk Teddy, a little shimmer, same brush. You can use a different brush if you like to, but I'm simple. Less is more. Okay, that's it. You're done.
Good. I'll have to rewatch that to see what you did.
It's so easy. Looking underneath of Mom's eyes again, she's starting to crease a tiny bit more, so I'll just take away. And then I do feel like now that we know where she's going to crease up, we can set it. I've been using the Makeup by Mario setting powder. I believe I gifted this to you in Fair Pink. Did I not? But it's a really nice, neutral, very fine powder. And I like it because it's talc free, so it doesn't have a lot of chemicals in it. I use a powder puff. Mom actually has this one. You gave me this one from Amazon. Again, linked down below. I dab it into the powder.
Actually,
I dab it off.
TJ Maxx.
It's from TJ Maxx. I dab it off on my hand. Look up. And I don't go all the way up to the under eyes. I just do a teeny bit under here. So you can see it really diffused everything. And so I just have this Makeup by Mario F2 brush, and then I just dust. Just dust, because she's shiny, and we want this to last a while because we used a lot of creams, and we can use a tiny bit of powder just to make sure it doesn't go anywhere. But again, less is more. Powder is kind of your worst enemy with mature skin, so for anyone really. Just see how little I'm using and knocking it all off.
Yep. That's a secret ingredient, I think.
It really,
for any
it's a secret
foundation.
ingredient, but it also is scary because that's the part that can
You
make
can
you look
overdo
older.
it. Yeah.
And dry and wrinkly, and it like really can bring out your wrinkles. Mom wanted me to show you her powder brush. This is her sparkle.
I want you to see it.
Okay, my mom, by the way, is an avid crafter, and she has her own website. She has her pages on Facebook. Do you want to tell them more?
No.
Why?
Because they're makeup people.
That's not true.
It's fine. It's Tammy Loves Vintage.
She's being modest.
No.
Mom has a lot of followers on Facebook. Watch her videos. She goes live every day. She has her own platform. And we'll probably talk about this again at the end. Wow, you look great.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So this is the powder and the brush that she uses. I was using the RCMA No Color powder years ago, and it's still a really good powder. So I wouldn't say that that's bad. I just have been using this Makeup by Mario because it's talc free, so it's a little bit cleaner in terms of ingredients. But she uses this big fluffy brush, which works just as well.
It's so fun.
It's so fun. It's really cute.
It's from the Sparkle event.
We love the Sparkle event. Mascara, because her eyeliner is tattooed, you don't need to, we don't need to put eyeliner on her, but this would be the point where you put eyeliner on. I personally don't either. I feel like at this point, if you're older, you have the way that you like to do your eyeliner, so I'm not going to tell you one way or the other is right or wrong. If you want a video on how to do eyeliner, I can do that separately, but again, I didn't pack it. You don't really do it.
It's too much. You told me it's too much.
It's too much for us. I did a video about low contrast makeup, which means we have low contrast, meaning our hair color and our skin color is all very similar. But if you have brown hair and really pale skin, then using an eyeliner and a deeper lip is going to be better for you. I'll link that video above so that you can go ahead and check that out. We did low contrast, but I'm going to be doing a high contrast video with my friend Velia, so stay tuned for that.
Oh, you'll love her.
Yeah,
she's
so great. So Mom's using the Ilia mascara. I already did curl mine.
Oh.
Mom's using the Ilia mascara, and then I'm using the Westman Atelier mascara. They're both non-toxic. They're both really good mascaras. They're both in black. We also love using brown.
Hard to see in this tiny mirror. Since I've been using Ilia or Thrive, both,
It looks great.
I don't get that underneath like I used to.
So Mom
I
is
used to have
claiming
like raccoon eyes.
that if you
the
have
end of the day.
raccoon eyes, it could just be also the mascara you're using.
it
So
is.
the Ilia doesn't do that.
I think
The
it's-
Thrive doesn't do that.
I think it's a combination. The Ilia
Yeah.
or the Thrive, and then the powder under your eye. It
We're
used to
moving
be a
on.
really big issue for me.
I remember.
and it's not anymore.
Okay. Well, that's good for them
It's
to know.
important.
It's very important. Look at this.
This is exciting.
This is so exciting. No, this isn't sponsored by Ilya, but we've been holding out. This got delivered a couple weeks ago, and Mom was waiting for me to come home
And
so that
put
we
it on her
could
bed.
film this video. So Ilya sent all of their new lip liners, and if you know, they never had lip liners until recently. I think this is all their colors, but they're super soft pinks, which are right up our alley
Yeah.
because low contrast, again, like I said. So what I'm going to do is just open them all, and we're going to swatch them on the back of my hand, and then we're going to pick which color we want to use the most. So this is what the packaging looks like. This is what the liner looks like. They're not super small. So why I love that is because we don't want a super sharp line around our lips.
Yeah.
We want it to be soft and diffuse and give that illusion that they're bigger without a super sharp line. These are all the colors of the lip liners. So we're going to pick which one we like the most.
That one.
Okay. So we're going to try on Mom the Pampas color. And they're wider on the mouth so that you don't have a super sharp line. And these look like wooden pencils so that we can sharpen them. Again, non-toxic. Just right over top of the line and creating that little shadow under, close your mouth. A little shadow underneath. Close your mouth. That's the important thing is to not smear it around, but to like pat. I'm going to do
I like that one too.
Pink Door.
I like that one too. They're highly pigmented. When you're looking at the color swatches online, pick a little lighter than what you think.
Long lasting. So if you're a high contrast person, the darker shades, my favorite for dark would be Earthen.
I like that one.
The one at the very end.
Yeah. Very pretty.
All right. Now I have a lip oil that I've been using and loving lately, which this is the Clarins lip oil, and I have multiple, but we just dab that on, and then you can, so it's not sticky at all. It's very hydrating. It lasts for a long time. I find that lip gloss is really tacky.
Flavor? It's good.
Comfort lip oil. I don't know what flavor it is. Vanilla E? But it adds a little bit of shine without it being super
greasy.
Yeah, not
It's
greasy
not
and
greasy.
not sticky. If we want to use a highlight, I highly advise you to not use a glittery highlighter, a powdered highlighter, to just use something more creamy. So this is the one that I love from Westman Atelier, and you can see it just has this really soft, subtle shine, and I use my 2 fingers. Pretty! I think you look so good.
Yay.
Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you learned a thing or two about makeup on mature skin. I hope this helps you. I think you look absolutely flawless.
Oh, I take my
I will
hair out.
say, since recently teaching her how to do her makeup more, she has been looking better and better and better, and she started making videos on TikTok on you doing your own makeup, and you can follow her.
There.
I'll put the little at Tammy Loves, I think, Vintage. What's your
Tammy Loves Vintage.
handle? Yeah,
I'm
she's
Tammy
on
Loves Vintage
Instagram,
everywhere.
Facebook, YouTube, all the places. So I'll tag you. You look great. I
Thank
love you so
you.
much.
I
Thank you
love
for
you.
being in my videos and being a great student.
Thank you guys for following my daughter.
Yay!
She's awesome.
Love you.
Love you too.